Chapter 571 Chapter 571, Skyrocketing Tension. Translator, lam_editor, hitesh_degree, seems like the fire-water secret grounds is going through some unrest right now. Lin Fan focused his gaze into the distance. He could sense some disturbance up ahead, as a series of auras pierced their way into the void. Furthermore, it didn't seem as though the clashes were happening on a single spot. Fights were breaking out in all directions. The fire-water secret grounds were unestablished secret grounds. Evidently, they were in the sights of coveters. However, in a place like this, no matter how many treasures there would definitely be more people grabbing and fighting over them. They would definitely not be enough for everyone. As such, with the dangers lurking around them, they would have to watch their backs. With that, Lin Fan chased in the direction where Fairy Hong Yun and her sect members had headed off to. After Lin Fan's departure, the void trembled. At the spot where Lin Fan was moments earlier, a few men appeared out of nowhere. One of them frowned and tore a hole in the void with a curl of his finger like a mountain. The infinite Bat Old Master has been slain. Who in the world would have the capabilities to do so? The man's expression changed to one of a slight bewilderment. While the actual powers of the infinite Bat Old Master weren't all that strong, his paradise was utterly mysterious and strange. It was extremely difficult to kill someone like him. Brother Luo, there's no lack of wealth to be found in this fire-water secret grounds. The infinite Bat Old Master was a greedy person who knew no bounds. It wouldn't be that much of a surprise for him to bump into someone tough and get himself killed in reverse. Another man looked really frosty. His gaze was split into yin and yang, with the yin-yang qi swirling within his eyes. It was as though he could reverse the heaven and earth, changing all of the worlds upside down. The Fire-Water Emperor was a powerful being of the old ancient times. His lifetime's worth of fortune must definitely be astounding. Amidst it, the most valuable item is the true essence of water and fire. If one can obtain the true essence of water and fire, they can inherit the legacy of the Fire-Water Emperor. We mustn't linger around here, lest someone else snatches it away. A man who was holding on to a hand fan commented. This man's disposition was graceful. However, a strong killing intent emitted from him from time to time, which was pretty obscure. Despite that, the single strain of killing intent that was sensed from time to time could rattle one's spirits, and have them delve entirely into the power of that endless killing will. Life-stealing scholar, the three of us have already agreed that we would walk this path together as comrades. Our encounters shall depend on our fates from the heavens itself. Whoever dares to backstab anybody shall be shown no mercy from the rest of us, Luo Yi gave a grave reminder. That's for sure. All right then, let us hurry on our way. This time around, there are quite a number of elders from the Cloud sect who have come along. Their powers must be pretty decent. Things should get a little tricky. Let us make sure to take care. The man with the black and white eyes smiled indifferently. At this moment, Lin Fan was observing the situation in the fire-water secret grounds keenly. The deeper he delved into this place, the more he was realizing how complex this fire-water emperor was. To think that the heaven and earth spirit chi within this dimension that he had opened up would be this dense and thick. In fact, it was even comparable to that of the ancient saint world itself. Furthermore, the surroundings were all filled with spirit herbs. Even though some of their levels weren't all that high, they were still pretty useful for Lin Fan. Along his way, Lin Fan had collected all the spirit herbs he had come across. Perhaps these might be items that others might not take a liking to. However, a grandmaster of cultivating pills such as Lin Fan could create elixirs out of any single spirit herb that no one else would even bother with. Lin Fan looked ahead into the distance and spotted Fairy Hong Yun, Tianyun and Muqing standing together. Near them were a group of people, who were standing still at their spots as well. Everyone, watch out. Someone's coming. Suddenly, a man within the group felt some vibrations through the void around him. His face changed immediately as he threw out those words of caution. To think that someone could remain hidden while avoiding their detection. They could only sense the might of the vibrations from the voids upon their arrival. The disciples of the Cloud sect felt their mental states shuddering fiercely while their faces changed. Ever since they had entered this place, they were separated from their elders. Within this fire-water secret grounds, they had to tread with extreme caution, lest they met with any powerful beings. The moment Fairy Hong Yun caught sight of who it was, her face changed into one of elation as she hurried forth, "Everyone, relax. He's my friend." The moment the masses heard the words of Fairy Hong Yun, they heaved a sigh of relief as well. The moment Tianyun and Muqing caught sight of Lin Fan, their hearts skipped a beat in happiness as well. Even though this man was pretty close to his junior sister, Tianyun could tell that he was not a bad person. Also, he didn't seem so irksome anymore. Therefore, the grudges that Tianyun bore towards Lin Fan earlier on had disappeared by now. "Are you all right?" Fairy Hong Yun had not expected Lin Fan to arrive this quickly. She had only just met up with her fellow sect members. "Yup, I'm all right. Even though the infinite bat old master was a little tricky, it's all over now," Lin Fan replied before sweeping his gaze at the group of people around him. All of their auras were different, as they varied in race. However, their cultivation states were pretty decent. Some of them were divine celestials, while others were desolate celestials. However, if these people were to bump into someone like the infinite bat old master with their current cultivation states, they would definitely not be of any match for him. "The infinite bat old master is dead?" Hong Yun was stunned, somewhat in disbelief. "Yes. He has already been killed by me." Even though the methods of the infinite bat old master were somewhat strange, "He treads on the path of evil," Lin Fan replied casually. Even though the infinite bat old master was of the paradise state, his actual powers weren't all that fearsome. The only thing fearsome about him was that ability of his to resurrect indefinitely. However, after Lin Fan had seen through his tricks, he was only worth that much at the end of the day. Fairy Hong Yun could feel her heart pounding right now. To think that he would be able to kill the infinite bat old master, whom even the elders of her sect couldn't kill. His methods and powers were utterly shocking. But of course, Lin Fan's powers right now couldn't be compared to those of the Cloud Sect elders. After all, those elders had not managed to unveil the tricks of the infinite bat old master, and that was all. They did not know of the fact that he was able to resurrect himself with the Black Heaven's Bat Kings even after they had killed him. However, that one encounter had the infinite bat old master injured severely as well. All the Black Heaven's Bat Kings within the paradise were slaughtered cleanly by the elders of the Cloud Sect. In the end, it was only one single Black Heaven's Bat King who had managed to escape unscathed. The infinite bat old master had only managed to regain his strength after recuperating for a few years. "Hong Yun, this friend of yours is?" Now that they were separated from their elders, the current leader of this group of Cloud Sect disciples was a senior brother of hers. The moment he caught sight of Lin Fan, his eyes shone with one of disdain. "This man here is the pride of the human race, Lin Fan. Back when I was being hunted down by the Evil Alliance, he was the one who had saved me. Earlier on when we bumped into the infinite bat old master, he was also the one who had paved the way for my escape together with senior brother and sister. I was the one who invited him with me into the opening of the fire-water secret grounds," Fairy Hong Yun explained. "Lin Fan, this is my senior brother here, Fang Weifeng." Senior brother Fang, Fairy Hong Yun gave Lin Fan an introduction as well. "My pleasure." Since this was one of Hong Yun's senior brothers, Lin Fan was naturally courteous and polite with his replies. Fang Weifeng cast a single glance at Lin Fan before turning his eyes onto Fairy Hong Yun. "The fire-water secret grounds is an extremely important place. How could you bring someone in without even knowing of their background? The difference between a good and a bad person isn't something you can tell with your naked eyes." Lin Fan's brows creased, somewhat displeased. Did this guy have a mental problem? Yours truly had not offended him in any way at all. Why the hell was there so much tension at their first meeting? "Senior brother, Brother Lin here has saved my life. Furthermore, he took down the infinite bat old master as well. We would definitely be more secure with Brother Lin around." Tianyun stood up for Lin Fan. "Such big words. Secure with him around? Tianyun, you're getting bold now, aren't you? Making decisions all on your own. How dare you disregard the words of senior brother Fang?" Suddenly, one of the disciples who were standing beside Fang Weifeng stood out to lecture Tianyun. "Senior brother Weidian, that is not my intention." Tianyun replied. "That's enough. Even our elders could not kill off the infinite bad old master, and you're saying that this guy has the capabilities to do so? Who knows if he had let you guys leave earlier on so that he could plot in secret with the infinite bad old master. Wadian's reply was extremely overbearing as he stood tall. Senior brother Wei, how could you be so accusatory? Tianyun rebutted. Impudent. Utterly disrespectful of your seniors. Wadian's face turned cold instantly as he struck out in a flash. All the while, Fang Weifeng stood still with an indifferent look. He did not intend to step in to stop this fiasco. Evidently, this was also a demonstration of strength to Lin Fan. It was to show the latter who the true leader around here was. Chapter 572 Chapter 572 Conflict Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_Lin Fan had not expected things to turn out this way. Where was the promised lovingness and doting between siblings? Why were the sect members fighting all of a sudden because of a single disagreement? All Tianyun did was refute a single sentence of his, and he should be punished. How bloody overbearing was that? Wadian stretched out his arm in a claw-like grip. Locking in his aura, he grabbed at Tianyun. Senior brother Wei, stop. Looking at how Wadian was not holding back at all, Hong Yun's face changed as well. The void-ripping claw was something that could tear even the heavens apart, let alone the meat and flesh body of Tianyun. The moment Tianyun caught sight of this, he was rattled. He knew that his senior brother was merely making use of him as a tool to display his might. However, the Cloud sect had a strict hierarchy of seniority. Tianyun did not dare to retaliate at all. Even if he did, he wouldn't be a match for his senior brother Wei. In a flash, Tianyun realized that a figure was standing right before him, shielding him from harm's way. The moment Wadian saw this human acting as a shield, he sneered coldly in his heart as well. He increased the amount of strength to his arm, causing all 5 of his fingers to glow with a sharp gleam. Clawing down at the shoulders of Lin Fan, he was bent on gutting this man. Shing! A crisp, clean sound rang out. However, this wasn't the sound of Lin Fan's shoulders being destroyed. The moment Wadian's fingers made contact with Lin Fan's shoulders, all 5 fingers of his began to contort, as though they were met with some sort of force. A sword will shot out of Lin Fan's shoulders, embedding itself in the arms of Wadian. Fresh blood spilled everywhere, spraying into the skies. Arg! A shrill cry rang out as Wadian stumbled backward repeatedly. As though it was pierced by an infinite number of swords, blood holes began to appear on his arms. Fresh blood oozed and gushed out of these holes. Wadian looked at Lin Fan in anger. However, the terrible pain caused him to cry out once more. That undispelled sword will remained within his arm. Brother Tianyun is your junior brother. Of course, it's in your right to discipline him as a senior brother. However, Brother Tianyun is my friend. If you dare to bully my friend before me, you're evidently disregarding the presence of me, Lin Fan. This was only a small little lesson for you this time around. If you dare to act so brazenly, I'll have that arm of yours severed entirely, Lin Fan replied imposingly. The flames of rage burned in the Wadian's heart. To think that this man would dare to strike out at him and injure his arm as well. However, he was clear of the difference between them. In front of so many of his other sect members, how could Wadian afford to lose his face right here? You bloody human of unknown background and origins. How dare you mix yourself within the midst of the Cloud sect? This guy must definitely have some motives behind him. Everyone, we've got to take him down. Wadian hollered. Halt! Hong Yun placed herself in between the both of them. Senior brother Wei. Right now, we're within the fire-water secret grounds. It wouldn't be a wise move to cause any internal strife between us. Junior sister Hong Yun, I take it that you're on the side of this human then, eh? Wadian's rage was impossible to quell right now. How could he bear to let it go just like this? So what if big senior brother Liaohan takes a liking to you? If you do not step away right now, you better not blame me for disregarding our ties as fellow sect members. Wadian, what has this got to do with senior brother Liao and me? The way you do not distinguish between right or wrong won't be spared if the elders catch wind of this. Hong Yun replied. Junior brother Wei, stand back. At this moment, Fang Weifeng stood forth. His aura was austere like a lofty mountain, great and boundless. Senior brother, Wadian was indignant. He wanted to get back his pride. Stand back. Fang Weifeng's tone was still calm like the still waters. However, Wei Tian could tell that if he did not stand back as ordered, he would truly incur the wrath of his senior brother. Senior brother Fang, I implore for you to make a decision on this matter. Please let everything go and let us work together to survive in this fire-water secret grounds, Fairy Hong Yun requested. Fang Weifeng's expression was grim and impossible to tell. Junior sister Hong Yun, you stand back too. Senior brother, noticing the look on her senior brother's face, Fairy Hong Yun could tell that something bad was about to happen. Stand back. With a maddened holler from Fang Weifeng, an invisible sonic boom blew Fairy Hong Yun away immediately. This was an extremely overbearing move. Looking at the situation before him, Lin Fan knew that there could definitely be no peaceful resolution to this. However, the thing that exasperated him was the fact that even though he had done nothing wrong, he was getting bullied by others time and again. Seemed like the kind truly did get taken advantage of. If he had appeared in this place with his unparalleled and formidable aura from the start, things might be entirely different right now. Brother Lin, you've got to watch out. Senior brother Fang is really strong. Standing behind Lin Fan, Tianyun whispered softly. At the same time, his heart was bubbling with indignance. So what if they were of the same sect? Everything should be determined by true strength. Lin Fan nodded his head before stepping forth. He glared at Fang Weifeng straight in the eye. Since you want to have a go at it, we'll have a go at it. I, Lin Fan, have truly never felt much fear for others, ever. HMPH. You've got guts, I'll give you that. Of course, there's nothing for junior brother Wei to hold against given that his strength is weaker than yours. However, for an outsider like you to step in junior brother Wei's disciplining of a junior? Evidently, you don't hold much regard for the Cloud sect. Since that's the case, I shall see just what sort of capabilities you've got for you to strike out as such. Fang Weifeng's tone was extremely domineering. Lin Fan, don't be rash. Fairy Hong Yun hurried over and stood before Lin Fan, attempting to hold him back. Channeling his aura outwards, Lin Fan used the force to push Fairy Hong Yun to one side as well. This is no longer of your concern. Just stay there and watch the show properly. Well, it's good that my hands are starting to feel itchy as well. I've got to check out for myself just what sort of capabilities disciples of the Cloud sect possess. Time to see if you guys should have the rights to even remain alive within this fire-water secret grounds. Lin Fan was afraid of nothing from the heavens down to hell. So, why would he be afraid of a trash like this then? Since this guy did not care for niceties and manners, insisting for Lin Fan to show his strength, then this guy was just asking for it. All the surrounding disciples were rooted right now in shock as well. They had not expected things to turn out like this. However, now that senior brother Fang was the one who had stepped into this affair, there was no room for them to interfere at all. Now that things had come to this, Fairy Hong Yun did not have any way of resolving this either. She couldn't help but retreat a few steps back, keeping the worries within her heart to herself. To fight with one another in a place as such, no matter which side wound up being injured, it would be a disaster. Lin Fan, please show some mercy. Fairy Hong Yun knew how strong Lin Fan was. If Lin Fan were to kill senior brother Fang, things would really be blown out of proportion. By then, no matter how much tact she had, she would not be able to mediate the Cloud sect out of sparing Lin Fan. Relax, I know my limits. To think that a mere trash as such would dare to challenge my authority? If I don't give him some taste of my strength, he would really think that there's no one out there in this world who could take him in hand. He needs to know that there's always someone stronger than you out there. Lin Fan scorned in disdain. Big words. How dare you call me a trash? No matter who steps in today, they wouldn't be able to save your dog life. Fang Weifeng's eyes were thoroughly incensed right now, all prepared to kill his opponent. Lin Fan's lips curled coldly. Divine Celestial Level 2, Realm State. This was someone that wasn't even comparable to the infinite Bat Old Master. And yet, how dare he act so brazenly before Lin Fan? He was simply just courting his own death. Go to hell. With a frenzied roar, Fang Weifeng deployed every single one of his moves as he bolted forth. His robes danced like a flag in a gust, flapping noisily. In a single strike, his body flashed. His skills gathered together like a current, converging within his palms. The crackling sound of his palm was sharp, as it slammed out towards Lin Fan. Instantly, Fang Weifeng changed into many different forms. The surrounding area was filled with his figures. Amidst illusion and reality, falsehood and truth, one could not identify the real body of Fang Weifeng at all. By now, all the surrounding disciples could not help but break out into cold sweat as the tension rose significantly. They did not know how things would eventually turn out. Chapter 573 Chapter 573, Fainting from Spraying Blood Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_. This is the Cloud Summit movement, the utmost movement technique of our cloud sect. It is said that if one were to cultivate it up to its highest state, their movements would follow that of the clouds, formless and fluid. They could change up their bodies into all sorts of states, where one could not distinguish between reality and illusion any longer. Senior Brother Fang's temperament had always been on the fiery side. Why the hell wouldn't this human just give in to him? If he could tolerate for just that bit, things would not escalate as such. Senior Brother Fang has already cultivated his realm to a state where he could control it with just the whim of his mind. He is practically just that step away from being a paradise state being right now. This human is in for it right now. That palm strike of Senior Brother Fang is way too formidable. The power of that is definitely beyond that of someone from the realm state. All the surrounding disciples began to engage in a heated discussion. They did not dare to question the actions of Senior Brother Fang at all, let alone disobey his authority and status. To think that a single human would dare to rile up Senior Brother Fang like this, without any concern towards the severity of the issue. Things might not end as easily with just a broken limb or two today. Fang Weifeng was someone who was born within the ancient saint world, and had spent his life growing up in the Cloud sect. He would forever put on an attitude of him being the greatest there ever was. Even those disciples with powers stronger than Fang Weifeng, but had entered the Cloud sect after him, would give him some leeway, not stooping down to his level. However, now that they were out of the sect, his attitude wasn't something to be tolerated by outsiders. Wadian smirked coldly at Lin Fan. He was waiting to see just how this guy was going to kneel down before Senior Brother Fang's might and beg for mercy. That movement technique of yours is pretty mysterious indeed. Looking at Fang Weifeng, who was taking on many different forms right now, Lin Fan's curiosity was piqued. To tell if a sect were strong, one would only have to look at the type of skills their disciples possessed. And, Lin Fan could tell from the get-go that this movement technique was far from ordinary. Moving like the clouds, he might seem as though he possessed a physical body. However, there was none. The smoke disappeared and the clouds dissipated. This was a mysterious movement with ever-changing motions, leading to one becoming indistinguishable between the layers of truth and falsehoods. All of a sudden, Fang Weifeng appeared behind Lin Fan. Punching out with that ever-mighty slap, he hurled out at the back of Lin Fan's head. It was as though he was bent on slapping Lin Fan into a retard. Watch out. Fairy Hong Yun's heart was skipping like a deer right now. This wasn't a battle that she had wanted to witness at all. This was especially the case after realizing how vicious her Senior Brother Fang's attacks were. She was afraid that Lin Fan might fall prey to him instead because of his merciful nature. Go to hell. Fang Weifeng's mouth curled coldly. To think that this damned fellow would dare to pit himself against him? He could only use his life as a means of apology then. With his back still facing Fang Weifeng, Lin Fan grinned gently. So what if his movement technique was mythical? Within the Xuanwang world, Lin Fan had always found himself walking through death's doors. Which ones of his battles weren't all earth-shattering and fraught with dangers? If he were to fall prey to Fang Weifeng's Dao just like this, he would have lived his life for nothing at all. In a jiffy, Lin Fan turned around. Raising his hand gently, he stretched out a single finger. This finger was exceptionally normal, without a single stir of energy at all. In fact, all the surrounding disciples right now were pretty sure that this human was going to be slapped to death by their Senior Brother Fang's single move. However, this was when the shocking event happened. All of the disciples rubbed their eyes, wondering if they were seeing things right now. To think that the mighty and formidable palm strike of their Senior Brother Fang would be stopped by a single finger. Nirvana finger. Using the finger as a center, a series of ripples were emitted out. These ripples were like stones that were cast into the gaping maws of the ocean, creating a series of growing ripples. Shing! As though they were dealt some severe impact, the nearby void began to shatter like a cracked mirror, turning into tiny shards of their own. Fang Weifeng's face changed immediately as a growing bubble of horror filled his eyes. He had suddenly realized that the mighty palm strike of his seemed to have met with some sort of an impenetrable wall. With that, an unblockable force was being transmitted from the finger itself. It coiled around the barriers of the void nearby and wrapped itself around his arm. He could feel his arm about to be destroyed at any moment. Damn it! Fang Weifeng blasted out, trying to break free of this power. However, this finger seemed to possess some sort of boundless suction force as it resided in the center of Fang Weifeng's palms. No matter how much strength he exerted, he couldn't break free of it at all. You've provoked me time and again. By every single reason I can think up of, you should be dead right now. However, given the fact that you're Fairy Hongyun's senior brother, I shall spare your life. However, I've got to give you something to remember this day. Lin Fan remarked indifferently. Destroy. Lin Fan hollered out gently. With that, a devastating power appeared. To Fang Weifeng's horror, that palm of his was being separated from him continuously as it turned into specks of dust, disappearing within the face of the heaven and earth. A tragic cry ensued from the screaming Fang Weifeng. Mercy please. Fairy Hongyun chimed in. Lin Fan flicked his finger, sending Fang Weifeng flying off like a bullet. He slammed onto the ground in the distance, spitting out a mouthful of fresh blood. The surrounding disciples were watching everything with their jaws dropping apart, as all color drained from their faces. To think that this crazily mighty and imposing senior brother Fang of theirs would be taken down by a single move of the other party. Weidian was shivering from head to toe right now. He had suddenly realized how scary this human right before his very eyes was. Fang Weifeng was howling out in fury as his eyes were filled with incredulity. However, in the blink of an eye, the look of incredulity changed into that of rage and hatred. He glared at Lin Fan with such baleful eyes, as though he had a blood feud with him. Damn it! How dare you sever my palm from me? I'll kill you! Fang Weifeng screamed out in anguish. Don't come seeking death. The only reason why you're alive is all only because of Fairy Hongyun. If you don't know what's good for you, I wouldn't mind sending you on your way, Lin Fan snorted coldly. I'll have you dead. Fang Weifeng's eyes were bloodshot right now. Evidently, he was going into a state of frenzy. Senior brother Fang, that's enough. Fairy Hongyun intervened. Scram! Fang Weifeng howled in an insane craze. His body jerked as an extremely domineering force burst forth. Power of the Cloud Summit. The moment Fairy Hongyun caught sight of this, her heart jerked as well. To think that senior brother Fang would resort to employing a secret technique. The Cloud Summit stood above the skies in the heavens, looking down on all living beings. This was a state that living beings could not wish to climb up to. Pui. Spitting out 2 mouthfuls of essence blood, Fang Weifeng gathered them before him. Taking on many different forms, they eventually turned into a red-colored longsword. This red-colored longsword was extremely flexible, as the figure of a Cloud Emperor floated gently above it. This Cloud Emperor's aura was extraordinary, shining down on the rest of the world. Wielding the sword of the Cloud Emperor in his arms, Fang Weifeng instantly became one with the Cloud Emperor. He bolted out at Lin Fan in a huff. His sword stance fluttered in the sky as his aura rumbled furiously, bringing with it a torrent of energy from the heavens that was bent on ending Lin Fan's life right there and then. Lin Fan stood there indifferently. Looking at the anxious look on Fairy Hongyun's face, he nodded his head. Since things had come to this, this was the only way then. At this moment, Lin Fan crossed 2 fingers together. A single torrent of energy coiled itself around those fingers of his. Vring. The sound of a vibration rang through the void as Lin Fan disappeared from his original spot. Bare nudeness. In that instant, the heaven and earth stood still in absolute silence. A flash of light beamed past. Piercing through the spot, Fang Weifeng stood where he was with a grim face. The sword of the Cloud Emperor in his hands dissipated like the clouds, ceasing to exist any longer. Ha! Suddenly, Fang Weifeng burst out laughing. He had felt the sword of the Cloud Emperor pierce through the body of the other party. What are you laughing at? Suddenly, a voice permeated through the void. Fang Weifeng's face changed immediately into one of disbelief. How did you do it? Fang Weifeng refused to believe everything before his very eyes. He had clearly felt the sensation of piercing through the other party. Why the hell was this fella still alive? Suddenly, a series of shrill cries coming from the female disciples amongst the spectating disciples rang out. At the same time, there were muffled laughter and discussion amongst the other disciples. Fang Weifeng suddenly felt a frosty chill around his body. Lowering his head, his entire face turned white as a sheet. Shame, anger, madness, hatred, to think that Brother Fang is into stuff like that. Something as small as a popcorn, this is the first time I'm seeing something like this in my life. At this moment, Lin Fan's voice was the only thing that could be heard in the world. However, this voice was a world of eternal pain for Fang Weifeng. Uck. With that, he spat out blood in a flurry, spraying it all around the sky in a tragic state. At this moment, the burning flame of rage had struck straight into the heart of Fang Weifeng. Unable to endure this humiliation, he fell to a thud as he fainted onto the ground. Translator's thoughts lam_ha_ha. And the new skill makes its debut. Cheers. Chapter 574 Chapter 574, Tomb of the Emperor. Translator, lam_editor, hitash_ ding, bare nudeness has leveled up, ding, bare nudeness has leveled up, leveling twice in a row. This was a pretty decent result for Lin Fan. However, what Lin Fan had not expected was that this skill was so damn strong. Even at this point in time, he could not figure out at all how the other party's clothes were removed. As for the surrounding disciples, the sight of their senior brother Fang without a single piece of garment on him had them totally flabbergasted. In fact, even some of the female disciples who once had a crush on senior brother Fang were now revealing looks of contempt at that popcorn-sized object at his groin. Instantly, those crushes flew away into the skies and ceased to exist. Should one go for power or happiness? For these girls, the latter was obviously the most important. When the masses realized that Lin Fan's gaze was turned upon them, their hearts froze up immediately, as though they were faced with a ferocious tiger right before them. They knew that the reason why senior brother Fang was entirely nude right now must be due to the doings of this human. Horrifying, way too horrifying. In the blink of an eye, he had removed all of senior brother Fang's clothing. If they were to be the victim of this move of his, how terrifying would that be? This one move of Lin Fan also caused the hearts of some of the female disciples to bubble up with fear. If they had accidentally offended this man and ended up like senior brother Fang, that would be absolutely horrifying to imagine. Han Yun looked over at Lin Fan, blinking her eyes blankly in helplessness. She had not expected Lin Fan to have such a frightening move. She knew that Lin Fan's powers were way stronger than senior brother Fang's to begin with. But she had not expected the difference to be this great. Fairy Han Yun, we shouldn't reside here overly long. It's time to set out. Lin Fan was feeling a little guilty in his heart right now. He shouldn't have used bare nudeness. After all, this was a skill that was way too damaging to the public morals. However, what could he do now that he had already done it? But fair enough, at least it was enough to solidify his might as a threat to everyone else. All of the male disciples who had been surrounding Fang Weifeng earlier on now stood rooted to their spot obediently, not daring to act overly impudent and the likes. All right, Fairy Han Yun's body shuddered momentarily. Finally, she was starting to feel a little scared of Lin Fan. That move was way too strong. Senior brother Fang did not even have a chance to retaliate. Even though senior brother Fang wasn't stronger than Lin Fan, he was still an imposing existence amongst them nevertheless. To think that he would be stripped stark naked without any way of fighting back at all. If Lin Fan were to turn against her for any reason, she would surely stand no chance at all. At this moment, Tianyun's heart was pretty rattled as well. He had not expected Lin Fan to be this strong. If senior brother Fang were to vent all his frustrations onto Tianyun himself once they got back to the sect, that would be a true tragedy. However, Tianyun did not voice out his concerns. Even though he might suffer back in the sect, at least there was no worry of him losing his life because of it. At the same time, he felt that it was all worth it now that he could take a peep at senior brother Fang's small secret. To think that senior brother Fang's nether regions would only be the size of a popcorn. Once this piece of news got back to the sect, it would definitely spread like wildfire. Haha, with that, Lin Fan and the rest of them made haste. Along the way, they bumped into many living beings that were born within the fire-water secret grounds. These living beings did not belong to any race or anything. They were all created from the concentrated spirit chi of the fire-water secret grounds itself. During his flight, Lin Fan also caught sight of a gorge where a six-armed giant was fighting with another giant. However, in the blink of an eye, Lin Fan casually slayed both the giants and tossed their thick spirit, essence, and vitality into the demon city, boosting its powers. Look, guys. A gigantic door has opened up straight ahead. Suddenly, Tianyun pointed out into the distance. Lin Fan turned his gaze over. Indeed, up ahead, there was a gigantic door that was around 10,000 feet in height. At this moment, the door had already been opened. However, there was a gigantic blue and red vortex that was twisting right before the door. I believe that the tomb of the Fire-Water Emperor should be up ahead. Fairy Hongyun spoke up. Lin Fan did not know where this blue and red vortex was connected to. Upon taking a closer inspection, he realized that there were a variety of mysterious images and runic symbols on the door itself. There were two figures of giants that attracted Lin Fan's attention particularly. Red, blue. These giants were remarkably lifelike in their image. These two giants. Could they have been drawn up by the Fire-Water Emperor personally? Lin Fan was feeling some uncertainties in his heart. Even though the giants were just images carved into the stone, he could feel a mighty aura being emanated out from them. Here. There are markings left behind by our elders here. Checking out the surroundings, Hongyun exclaimed out urgently. Lin Fan and the others landed on the ground. What markings? The elders are engaged in a fight with some outsiders. Right now, all of them are within the tomb, Fairy Hongyun remarked. At this moment, only two paths were awaiting Lin Fan and the others. The first was to head into the vortex, and the second was to find a place to hide. Seems like we've been careless this time around. To think that there would be these many powerful beings eyeing the opening of the Fire-Water secret grounds. Seems like it's already extremely lucky for us to even remain alive up till this point, Fairy Hongyun continued. Even though they were divine celestials, if the outsiders and powerful beings were locked in a stalemate with their elders, they must naturally be of divine celestial level 4 or 5. If they were to meet such powerful beings, they would naturally be slain in the blink of an eye. At this moment, Fairy Hongyun turned around to the masses. My fellow sect members, it is fraught with immense dangers within. If anyone does not wish to enter, please find a hiding spot in the meantime. When the elders finally make their way out, we'll leave this place together. The crowd turned their heads and looked at one another. Senior Sister Hongyun, you've once said that encounters depend on one's fates. Everyone has their lives predetermined. The fact that we've made it here to the Fire-Water secret grounds is an affinity to begin with. I want to enter and see what sort of destiny awaits me. A middle-aged man with a square face spoke up with a bright thirst shining in his eyes. There are many encounters awaiting us in the Fire-Water secret grounds. Too many to count in fact. If I do not head in and give it a shot, I'll definitely feel immensely regretful as well. Everyone at this place felt that they would definitely not rest in peace if they did not give it a shot while they could. All right. Since that's the case, let us head in then. Even though life and death might not be in our hands once we enter, I implore all of you to watch out for your safety first within, Fairy Hongyun replied. Suddenly, Lin Fan frowned. He could sense a few auras approaching from the distance. Hurry up and enter. There are more people coming. Lin Fan warned out. Go. Without much hesitation, the masses leapt into the vortex. Instantly, the heavens toppled and the earth flipped over. Everything before them turned pitch black. The next time Lin Fan opened his eyes to look for everyone else, he was in a place that was completely empty. Checking out his surroundings keenly, Lin Fan realized that he had appeared within some sort of a maze. This maze was extremely vast, where its boundaries could not even be seen at all. Within this maze stood many tall stone statues. All of them were crafted intricately, and looked extremely lifelike, wielding weapons of their own. Seems like everyone who enters this place would be teleported to a random location. Oh well, this is a rare opportunity still. Time to search for the Fire-Water Emperor's treasure before anything else. Without any delay, Lin Fan leapt up from the ground and flew out towards the distance. However, his face changed immediately as a black figure bolted out at him instantly. By the time he could identify his target, he realized that all the stone statues had started moving without him realizing at all. These stone statues were extremely imposing and fearsome. Those initially darkened sockets of theirs were now lit ablaze with a fiery flame. The weapons in their hands cleaved out at Lin Fan at this moment. Chapter 575 Chapter 575 Does this place have any shame left? Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_degree. This 1,000-feet-tall giant had an extremely imposing aura as he wielded a long axe, cleaving through the void down at Lin Fan. Bam! Shifting his body nimbly, Lin Fan stared at the destructive powers of the giant with an utterly stupefied gaze. Such strength, to think that the surface of the Fire-Water secret grounds would be cleaved into a chasm so deep that one could not even make out the bottom of it all, with just that one single slam of the axe. Lin Fan's body was like an agile snake right now as he dodged to the side of the giant. Twirling his finger to create a light spot, he struck out with this single point and tapped on the head of the giant. Withering everything present, this destructive power surged through the entire body of the giant, disintegrating it into dust immediately. Ding! Congratulations on killing Divine Celestial Level 2, Realm State Puppet Giant. Ding! Experience points plus 50,000. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining Puppet Giant Talisman X1 Puppet Giant Talisman, able to summon 1x Puppet Giant of Divine Celestial Level 2, Realm State to engage in combat for you. Lin Fan toyed around with this dusky talisman paper in his hands while his mind was pondering over it. Even though these puppet giants were of Divine Celestial Level 2, Realm State, they had not managed to cultivate any realms for themselves. All they possessed were the strength of someone of that level. Thump. Thump. Suddenly, a series of sounds rang out in Lin Fan's ears. Another stone giant up ahead was starting to stir as multiple rocks fell onto the ground from its body. What in the world is going on here right now? Lin Fan was astonished, unable to comprehend the situation of this place. No, I can't continue to play around with these stone giants. Time to get the hell out of this place. With a whim of his mind, Lin Fan activated so near, yet so far. However, suddenly, Lin Fan appeared right where he was once more. There was an invisible force blocking Lin Fan's path forward. This force was calm as water, yet it was as more resolute than anything else. Lin Fan slammed his fist into this invisible force. Instantly, a few ripples spread out across the barrier. However, it returned to normalcy thereafter, without any motion once more. The situation before Lin Fan had him utterly stumped. He was the clearest about the strength level of his fist. However, to think that all it created was some ripples on the barrier. What in the world was up with this thing? With that, the newly created stone giant pounced out at Lin Fan. Divine Celestial Level 3, Paradise State. Looking at the giant, Lin Fan frowned. Was this tomb of the Fire-Water Emperor bent on killing everyone entirely? However, the moment the stone giant struck out, Lin Fan was elated. Even though this was a Divine Celestial Level 3, Paradise State being, it hadn't cultivated out its paradise at all. At this moment, Lin Fan chuckled. Pure brute strength without a paradise? This was as good as a paper tiger. Shifting his body once more, Lin Fan's speed was exceptionally fast. Surpassing everything, he slammed out with the Doomsday Calamity God Fist. Bringing with it an endless might, that force that seemingly brought down the entire Doomsday itself landed on the body of the stone giant. Crack. Ding! Congratulations on killing Divine Celestial Level 3, Paradise State Puppet Giant. Ding! Experience points plus 100,000. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining Puppet Giant Talisman X1. To think that the experience points gained would be this limited by the absence of his paradise. That's a pity indeed. Lin Fan was pretty exasperated right now. However, he still had no idea what he was going to do. All of this was stuff created by the Firewater Emperor. Did this bloody Firewater Emperor have too much time on his hands? Why the hell would he create all of these stone giants for no reason at all? In another isolated space. At this moment, the Divine Celestial Level 1, True State Tianyun had just killed a stone giant. What in the world is this place? To think that these stone giants would possess such strength. Checking out the situation around him, Tianyun's heart could not help but be filled with worries. He wondered how everyone else was right now. But, just as Tianyun was looking for a way out of this, yet another stone giant appeared. Divine Celestial Level 2, Realm State. Sensing the power level of this stone giant, Tianyun's face changed immediately. Wasn't this just pushing him to his death? But, at this point in time, there was nothing else he could do except engage it in battle. Even though this stone giant did not have a cultivated realm of its own, it was still a really formidable opponent for Tianyun nevertheless. When the stone giant landed a punch against Tianyun, his face changed immediately. He knew that he wasn't far from death's door right now. However, just as the punch made contact with him, a gigantic black hole appeared behind his back immediately. Feeling the immense energy coursing through his entire body, it caused his body to turn upside down as his brain was muddled up like glue right now. You have no rights to enter the tomb of the Firewater Emperor. Return. The giant retracted his fist and stood back where he was originally, entering a deep slumber once more. I'll return once more. Upon hearing the words of the stone giant, Tianyun could feel a wrench in his heart. To think that he would be forced to leave so soon after his entry to this place. At this moment, the entire region returned to its eerily silent mood. The utmost supreme skill to demolish the voids. Emptiness sword will. Lin Fan stuck up his thumb. Using his palm as an embodiment of the sword itself, he pierced through everything and slashed out at the giant. These never-ending giants were causing Lin Fan to feel somewhat exasperated. Each time he defeated a single giant, another stronger one would spawn. However, the only thing to rejoice about was the fact that these stone giants were mere brute strength, without anything else. This single fact allowed Lin Fan to deal with them with relative ease for now, without much pressure on his hands. However, the cultivation states of the stone giants were getting stronger each time. Even without the exact strength of their corresponding cultivation states, they were still getting more difficult to deal with each time. Ding! Congratulations on killing Divine Celestial Level 4, Undying State Puppet Giant. Ding! Experience points plus 150,000. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining Puppet Giant Talisman X1. By the time he was done killing this stone giant, Lin Fan heaved a sigh of relief. At the same time, he was starting to get a little pissed off by these giants. He just had to see what other bullsh*t this Firewater Secret Grounds could come up with. Grind. Grind. The sound of the stone giant stirring up rang through the void once more. At this point, Lin Fan was starting to curse their mothers. Was this ever going to be done? One should not try their luck thrice. Right now, this was the fourth stone giant. One mustn't go so overboard with their sh*t. Did they really take yours truly as a superhuman? F***ck. This is too much. Lin Fan hollered out. Without waiting for the stone giant to strike out, he made the first move. Two Dao weapons flew out in an arc from Lin Fan's hands, swinging down at the stone giant in fury. Without any bit of hesitation, Lin Fan used up all four of the puppet giant talismans he had obtained as well. Instantly, four stone giants appeared and leapt forth. You want to fight? Let's see who's afraid of whom. You want to compete with magical skills? All right then. Yours truly shall play you to the death. Lin Fan's magic powers surged around him furiously. Covering the sky with his arm, he grabbed down at the stone giant with his 5 fingers in a claw-like shape, aiming for the head of the stone giant. Roar. The stone giant gave off a maddened roar, as an immense power burst forth from him. Before the 4 puppet giants could even get close, they were smashed into pieces by him. Lin Fan did not hesitate in the least bit. Everything between his 5 fingers exploded immediately, bringing the entire void tumbling down with him. Destruction. The demon city and flying heavens crashed with a massive force onto the stone giant as well. Boom. Lin Fan could feel an extremely repressive force as the aura climbed steadily. One strike of destruction. At this moment, Lin Fan deployed every single move in his arsenal, as all his true skill seeds churned wildly. A long river of his skills was cultivated out. Bringing with it an infinitely bright glow, it gushed down at the stone giant. The true skill seeds churned rapidly as a series of skill spirits stood imposingly. Deploying each of their special moves, this boundless might encompassed the vast sky, rendering one unable to block it at all. Bam, bam. Receiving this chain of attacks had the stone giant crumbling down into pieces. Ding, congratulations on killing Divine Celestial Level 5, Essence Spirit State Puppet Giant. Ding, experience points plus 200,000. Ding, congratulations on obtaining Puppet Giant Talisman X1. Lin Fan stood there wavering slightly. No more, please. Any more and he might truly be doomed. Even though these stone giants had nothing but mere strength, if their strength were to continue accumulating to a certain degree, it would still be something overwhelming, even if they did not have any special properties to their powers. By now, Lin Fan's nuts were starting to feel the sting. Was he supposed to continue challenging them to no ends? By the time he couldn't take down the final stone giant, he would be crushed to death harshly. None at this moment, in yet another dimension. Even though Fairy Hong Yun's cultivation state was only that of a Divine Celestial Level 1, true state, she found herself being able to challenge up to a Divine Celestial Level 3, Paradise State Stone Giant. However, she was still overwhelmed by the strength of the stone giant right here. With that, Fairy Hong Yun was also struck down by the punch of the stone giant. At first, Fairy Hong Yun thought that her life was about to end right here. But right before the punch of the giant reached her, she was swallowed up by a similar black hole behind her. Challenge successful. Entering the tomb of the Fire Water Emperor. Come on. Yours truly isn't afraid of you guys. Come at me again if you've got the guts. Looking at the stone giant statues surrounding him, Lin Fan bellowed out. Too much. This was way too much. To think that they would dare to term this as the Fire Water Secret Grounds? No, no. This was a downright shammy place filled with scams to no ends. Sending all these trials one after another, does this place know no shame? They were just bent on forcing everyone to their wits' ends. Chapter 576 Chapter 576, Tragedy Ensues. Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_ By now, Lin Fan was about to flip entirely. This Fire Water Emperor must be one hell of a seeking con artist. If he didn't want anyone to enter his tomb, why the hell would he leave all those directional talismans around? Wasn't that all just to scam people with? Right now, Lin Fan was entirely pissed off with this Fire Water Emperor. If he were still alive right now, Lin Fan would definitely punch his face so badly that his parents wouldn't be able to recognize him anymore. And just as Lin Fan was brooding in his heart, the void began to tremble gently. Lin Fan focused up instinctively, wondering what sort of bullsh*T was about to happen right now. Since those stone giants couldn't kill yours truly, there should be something even more vicious appearing right now. But, when Lin Fan caught sight of the figure that appeared out of thin air, he frowned. Who are you? He asked warily. The person before him was indistinguishable between male and female. Wearing a mask, the figure of this person was hidden beneath a long robe. You've entered my tomb, yet you do not know who I am? A voice that was gender-neutral rang out from beneath the mask. Fire Water Emperor? Lin Fan could not help but feel some goosebumps in his heart. This couldn't be, could it? Since those stone giants couldn't kill yours truly, this person was going to come at him personally now? But that was not right either. Hadn't the Fire Water Emperor already fallen? Why the hell would she appear right now? Who in the world are you? The Fire Water Emperor has long fallen. You can't be him, Lin Fan remarked cautiously. At the same time, he was sneakily preparing a plan within his mind. This would undoubtedly lead to a battle later on. Furthermore, this fella's aura was really extraordinary. It was unusually scary. The Fire-Water Emperor did not speak as it floated gently in the skies, looking at Lin Fan and feeling a little startled within her heart as well. Even though the stone giants possessed nothing but brute strength, there had never been anyone who could surpass so many levels of the challenges. This was pretty incredible indeed. However, the more this was the case, the better it was. After all, only a person of extraordinary caliber was befitting of inheriting her legacy. And perhaps, there would be then a chance of someone rescuing her out. This is only a single strain of your Majesty's essence spirit that has manifested into a physical state. You have already earned the right to enter my tomb. There is no need to resist. Your Majesty shall send you right over. The Fire-Water Emperor spoke up. Lin Fan was starting to curse at this person's mother right now. No need to resist? Did he think that yours truly was a fool? All right, send me over then. Even though Lin Fan agreed with the arrangements verbally, he was secretly building up his realm. Bigra was something that had neither a color nor a smell. It was without a form or body, or any vibrations. This was the holy grail of all sneak attacks. The Fire-Water Emperor came before Lin Fan slowly. From beneath the robes, she stretched out a hand that caused Lin Fan to cringe. This hand was tender and silky smooth. Pale like a piece of jade, its fingers were extremely long with glistening nails. This wasn't the hands that a man should have. Bloody hell. Seeking tranny. Lin Fan cussed in his head. At the moment when the Fire-Water Emperor approached, Lin Fan's body flashed, HMPH. Trying to trick yours truly? You're way too naive. Instantly, Lin Fan disappeared from where he was. The surrounding air was suddenly covered up by a ball of mist. Realm, just as the Fire-Water Emperor was still surprised, the realm opened up and swallowed him in within. And to think that you dare to call yourself the Fire-Water Emperor? Yours truly here shall whack a pig's head out of you today. Lin Fan suddenly went wild and burst forth at the Fire-Water Emperor. The Fire-Water Emperor had not expected this fella to distrust herself right from the beginning. However, with this, the Fire-Water Emperor was pretty impressed as well. Since this was the case, it was time to test out the potential of this fella. Even though this was just a single strain of the Fire-Water Emperor's essence spirit, the amount of power that he possessed was something that Lin Fan couldn't deal with nevertheless. Despite that, the Fire-Water Emperor had the intention of checking out this man's latent potential. For that, she curbed back on his true strength. As the both of them exchanged blows, the void began to break apart continuously before regenerating rapidly. The Fire-Water Emperor had not expected this fella to be this strong. Even though he was just a divine celestial level 2 realm state being, his magical powers were extremely profound. He was definitely undefeatable by anyone of the same state. In fact, even paradise state powerful beings might not be a match for this man. The mist revolved continuously, wrapping the Fire-Water Emperor in even tighter. Seeing this, Lin Fan's heart leapt with joy. Once this person's heart was taken over by the Bigra, yours truly would then show him who was the boss. All right, suddenly, the expression of the Fire-Water Emperor beneath her mask took a turn, feeling a warm sensation within her body. There's something wrong with this mist. Suddenly, the Fire-Water Emperor started to react to the situation. Using a strong burst of energy, she repelled Lin Fan away and channeled the energy inwards, trying to suppress that building restlessness within her body. However, to the Fire-Water Emperor's shock, the restless fervent energy broke through her suppression methods, and was beginning to spread out. How could this be? At this moment, the Fire-Water Emperor thought in absolute disbelief. Just what in the world was going on with this guy's realm? Even though this was only a single strain of essence spirit, it shouldn't be something that the other party could deal with given his current strength level. HMPH. Trying to scam yours truly? Do you know of yours truly's true powers right now? Since you're keeping yourself hidden so secretively, yours truly shall expose your true self right now. Looking at the quivering body of this masked person, Lin Fan was extremely ecstatic. Shifting his body nimbly, he darted towards the masked person. Bare nudeness. With that, Lin Fan deployed that godly skill of his. He had to just see just who in the world was beneath this secretive mask and robes. The consciousness of the Fire-Water Emperor was starting to get fuzzy. Just as she was distracted, a bright flash shone over. Lin Fan's strike had succeeded, piercing through everything. His lips curled into a grin. Whether you're a human or a ghost, there's nowhere for you to hide in the hands of yours truly. Lin Fan turned his head around, intent on finding out who this person before him was. How could this be? But Lin Fan was petrified right now as he glared in disbelief. The mask had fallen, revealing a face of absolute gorgeousness that was unable to be described with mere words. This face was filled with a disposition of royalty, holiness, and superiority. A long, silky head of hair laid on those snow-white smooth shoulders. But the most jaw-dropping of it all for Lin Fan was that stark naked body of incomparable beauty, which stood right before his very eyes. Light bounced off the flawless, porcelain skin of hers. In fact, there were even two stunningly perky mountain peaks that were topped off with two cute red dots, displaying their brilliance to the world. The moment this perfect body appeared, the entire world dimmed equivalently, as though its color was drained in comparison to the dazzling beauty of this work of art. Holy f***ck, Lin Fan was completely confounded by now. To think that this was a female. In this instance where Lin Fan was momentarily distracted, that jade-like hand gripped on Lin Fan's wrist tightly. What are you trying to do? Lin Fan was starting to panic. This was the first time something as such has happened to him after his usage of Bigra. And right in this instance where Lin Fan was momentarily panicking, that peerlessly gorgeous face was separated from Lin Fan's cheeks by only a hair's breadth. At this moment, the ravishing features of the Fire-Water Emperor were flushed red. Those sparkling eyes of hers seemed to be burning with twin raging flames. What in the hell is this? Hurry up and release me from it. The Fire-Water Emperor gasped out in a slight moan, feeling frightened in her heart. However, she was unable to control her body as it pounced out at Lin Fan. I can't release this at all. Hurry up and let go of me. I'm someone with a wife. Lin Fan struggled. However, her vice-like grip was like a nail that was pinned tightly onto Lin Fan. Before he knew it, her thighs moved like agile snakes and wrapped themselves around his neck. I want it. The Fire-Water Emperor's consciousness was entirely controlled by Bigra at this moment. The only thing on her mind were primordial carnal instincts. But I don't want it, Lin Fan screamed out anxiously. Suddenly, Lin Fan's mouth was clamped shut. f***ck. She was forcing herself onto yours truly. Translator's thoughts lamb ha ha ha. Is this the start of a new wife arc? Also, if you guys are confused why Lin Fan would refer to the Fire-Water Emperor as a him in some of the conversations above before her gender was even revealed, that's because he was referring to this person in the raws. However, the language would naturally relate it to a male gender by assumption before anything else. Cheers. Chapter 577 Chapter 577, Coexistence of Pain and Happiness. Translator, lam_editor, hitesh_degree. By now, Lin Fan had no idea what he should say any longer. Everything was happening way too suddenly. The might of Bigra was something that was unparalleled. However, Lin Fan was a man of conscience. Hence, he had never ever used it on a woman. However, to his disbelief, the masked person turned out to be a woman. In life, there would always be times where one would commit mistakes. Originally, this wouldn't cause any issues at all. Even though he might have fed a woman some Bigra by accident, so what? At most, he would just let the woman deal with it herself. She could follow on the path of the snow lion in the past and settle her desires on her own. But this time around, he was played right into the equation as well. Bigra was truly a pill that had no antidote to it. This was precisely the reason why it was termed as the strongest buff there ever could be. If there were an antidote to it, that would mean that there was a weakness to Bigra, and Lin Fan would probably not refer to it as his strongest existence by then. And just as Lin Fan was in the midst of struggling, the Fire-Water chick shuddered as though a wave was going to gush out. Don't tear at my clothes. You're a beast. Lin Fan hollered. However, how could his petite little body fight against the furious assault of this Fire-Water chick? f***ck my life. To think that yours truly would be forced on by a 10,000 years old hag. Where's the justice in this, dear heavens? Lin Fan was railing curses. How could he be tainted by this old woman here? All of you, hurry, come out and help me. Lin Fan called upon his Dao weapons. However, to Lin Fan's dismal, a single burst of aura from the Fire-Water Emperor had every single one of the Dao weapons suppressed, rendering them immobile within his body. Don't bite at my neck. What's that hand of yours up to? What are you trying to do? Lin Fan struggled furiously. However, all of a sudden, his entire body quivered. To think that the tender, boneless hand of the Fire-Water chick would stretch itself right into the pants of Lin Fan's groin area. That delicate lily-white hand of hers was slowly touching up Lin Fan's groin. That hand technique of hers was superb and well-polished, causing Lin Fan to be completely stumped. Lin Fan had not expected such skills from the Fire-Water chick. This was entirely out of his expectations. No. How can I allow you to succeed? Spiritual and mental defense. I'll hold it in and I'll hold it in. I'll definitely not get hard. Lin Fan was fighting back furiously, channeling all his magical powers while forcefully suppressing everything back. He was bent on not allowing the Fire-Water chick to get her way. The Fire-Water chick, who was entirely disoriented by the Bigra, could not help but get anxious right now. It was as though she could not find a way to vent all her frustrations. Lin Fan was grappling in this wrestling, determined not to let the Fire-Water chick invade him. This beautifully and red-flushed water-fire chick was pushing down on Lin Fan with one hand, rendering him motionless. With her other hand, she was still furiously tugging and playing with his groin. Suddenly, Lin Fan realized that his defenses were being torn down by the frenzied Fire-Water chick. Instantly, an endless amount of energy was being given out by the palms of the Fire-Water chick. Lin Fan instantly felt his body being sealed by some sort of a lock, rendering him entirely motionless. In fact, he couldn't even lift a single finger. Holy F***ck. Lin Fan was utterly stumped right now. To think that this Fire-Water chick would seal him up as such before taking her time to play with him. How could Lin Fan endure something like this at all? I'll never ever bow down to you. Lin Fan's eyes were resolute. By now, all of Lin Fan's clothes were stripped cleanly by the Fire-Water chick. Even though the Fire-Water chick herself was trying her best to resist this in her heart, she only thought that was swarming her mind under the influence of Bigra was to release. She wanted to release and vent all of these frustrations. While her mental state was being rattled by Bigra, her innate capabilities were still existent. For her to be able to become the Fire-Water Emperor, her knowledge of the world was definitely something that mere commoners could not hope to compare with. In the flash of an eye, Lin Fan suddenly realized that the finger of the Fire-Water chick was lighting up with a bright glow. This glow seemed to be fused with the essence of fire and water, hot and cold, warm and cool. The magical powers of these properties were imbued at her fingertips, causing Lin Fan much difficulty in resisting this. To think that this is the fire and water twin heavens, Lin Fan couldn't hold it any longer. The tables had turned entirely. He was utterly incapable of resistance right now. A towering pillar ensued. F***ck. I'm dead. Lin Fan looked at the situation unfolding before him and shut his eyes gently. Two clear streams of tears ran down the course of his cheeks. This time around, he had really been F***cked big time. The other party really got the better of him. From this point forth, there would be a blemish on this life of his. Lin Fan's tears of despair made their way down from her eyes. When he next opened his eyes, the Fire-Water Emperor was riding on him. She was free and happy like a cheery cowgirl riding on a rapid horse, galloping around the grasslands with fervor, humping wildly, bumping crazily, and yelling shrilly. Those two cute, little red cheery dots danced in front of Lin Fan's eyes in a hypnotizing cycle. Suddenly, Lin Fan discovered a vacuum-like suction appearing at his groin area. At the same time, two distinctively mysterious energies were gushing into his body. Lin Fan did not know what was going on right now. Before long, he found himself immersed deeply within his inner world. The colors of red and blue were intertwined in the form of two long rivers originating from the body of the Fire-Water Emperor. Upon receiving this twin surge of energy, the slowly growing mythical parasol tree suddenly bloomed lusciously, as its roots grew ever thicker and stronger. It's germinating once more. The secret of the mythical parasol tree was something that had yet to be uncovered entirely by Lin Fan. Normally, he would let it absorb the saint spirit chi of the surroundings and boost it with his own vitality and magical powers. However, the current growth spurt of the mythical parasol tree had Lin Fan seeing a new world of hope altogether. These twin energies should be the true essence of the Fire-Water Emperor's core. Not only were these twin true essence nourishing the mythical parasol tree, they were seeping within Lin Fan's own realm as well. Even though this was only a single strain of the Fire-Water Emperor's essence spirit, it possessed a portion of the Fire-Water Emperor's core. Everything that was going on right now was being transmitted to the main body of the Fire-Water Emperor as well. Even though Lin Fan had cultivated out his realm, its foundation wasn't all that firm just yet. It was still a piece of work in progress, requiring constant absorption of energy, replenishment, and refining. However, under the surge of these twin energies, Lin Fan realized that all the gods of his skills within the realm were appearing on their own as well. Following that, they started sitting down in a cross-legged position, making use of this twin energy to cultivate themselves. Even though it hadn't been that long since Lin Fan had started his path of cultivation, he was someone with a wide knowledge of things. He knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The source of the twin powers that the Fire-Water Emperor cultivated was stronger than anything else in this world. At its core, water was used to cleanse every single thing in this world. On the other hand, the core of fire was used to refine and forge everything in the world. Boom! Suddenly, a loud explosion rang out from Lin Fan's realm, and a series of thunderbolts cruised through it. The refinement of true fire and the nourishment of water. Under the surge of these two powers, Lin Fan's realm was growing rapidly, and being improved comprehensively. At the same time, the realm was starting to take on different shapes. The realm shone with a crystallized radiance. This sparkling gleam was filled with an endless amount of energy, causing Lin Fan's realm to expand outwards continuously. Master. This energy is way too wondrous. I feel as though I'm about to reach the state of Tao right now. All of the skill gods stood upright within the realm right now. Their bodies illuminated with all sorts of divine luster as though they had just comprehended some form of energy from the unknowns. Suddenly, a burst of energy ripped through Lin Fan's realm, creating a black hole. Even though Lin Fan did not know what was going on, he was entirely startled when he took a closer look. To think that this was the paradise of the Fire-Water Emperor. An aurora was spreading out from the paradise of the Fire-Water Emperor, illuminating Lin Fan's realm. Each place the aurora landed, flowers would blossom, creating life wherever it went. Just how in the world was this paradise created? Lin Fan was utterly stumped right now. To think that the paradise of the Fire-Water Emperor would look exactly like a real world. Living beings trod around everywhere while the sun shone brightly up in the sky. Countless living beings made their way into Lin Fan's realm and began to cultivate the ground within his realm, planting down innumerable seeds of hope. Compared to the paradise of the Fire-Water Emperor, the paradise of the infinite Bat Old Master could hardly be considered as a paradise at all. Within the lands of the 8 utmost beings of the ancient race, 8 towering spires stood between the heaven and earth. Between them, something was happening in that gigantic black hole that was covered up by a web of light beams. Instantly, all 8 utmost beings of the ancient race disappeared from their thrones. The next time they reappeared, they were already floating above this gigantic hole that was spread out over a vast area. Suppress, a massive amount of energy pushed down upon the hole, repressing the vibrations that were occurring right now. Within that pitch-black and enigmatic black hole, a woman was flushed red. There was a mixture of expressions on her face right now. Some anger, some embarrassment and shyness, some shock. However, the most prominent one was the domineering intent within her eyes. Just who in the world is this human? To think that the two great true essence would actually show signs of wanting to fuse. Chapter 578 Chapter 578 This B*TCH is way too overbearing. Translator, lam_editor, Hitesh_ compared to the paradise of the Fire-Water Emperor, Lin Fan's realm was way too feeble and puny. In fact, it was so weak that it couldn't even be compared with a speck of dust. This was the first time Lin Fan came across such a huge paradise. If he hadn't seen it with his very eyes, he might have been sold by a trash standard such as that of the infinite bat old master. Could that shish asterisk thole of a place even be considered as a paradise in the face of this? That was practically not even 1/1000th of this at all. At this moment, there were signs of the Fire-Water Emperor's paradise and Lin Fan's realm wanting to merge together. In fact, rather than a merge, it should be said that the paradise of the Fire-Water Emperor was leading his realm into a flourishing state. As the saying went, I'll turn you awesome and carry you with me. In the past, Lin Fan had always been the one carrying others. But right now, he was the one being carried. This was such a mysterious sensation. He was practically winning by being away from keyboard. This dazzling radiance lit up his entire realm. The twin true essence of fire and water swiveled within the realm, circling all over the place. Crack. Suddenly, Lin Fan's realm began to crack continuously. However, it was forming up as fast as it was cracking. It was akin to a phoenix's nirvana rebirth. Every single rebirth would bring the phoenix's strength to the next level. All of a sudden, Lin Fan realized that the system was starting to move as well. That fusion function that he hadn't used in a long time was beginning to churn and activate right now. Initially, these two great true essence were mutually incompatible with one another. However, under the fusion function of the system, they were mixing together continuously, forming a new core of true essence altogether. Bam! This first-of-its-kind core of the true essence floated gently in the skies of the realm. Suddenly, it burst out into spots of starlight and gravitated within the realm. With that, the realm began to strengthen and refine itself furiously, as the consciousness of the realm itself began to evolve. Holy f***ck. Am I going to level up? Lin Fan could feel the power level within himself climbing furiously, as though it was about to reach its next destination. What came after destruction was rebirth. Bam! Instantly, Lin Fan's realm disintegrated into dust, and everything delved into a state of jet-black darkness. Just as Lin Fan was still in a state of bewilderment, a small spot illuminated through the endless darkness. It expanded continuously, bringing with it rainbow-colored broken crystal shards before floating up and spreading out in all directions. It was as though something was vacuuming it towards the surroundings as it held itself there. Ding! Congratulations on leveling up. Ding! Cultivation state, Divine Celestial Level 3, Paradise state. Now that the realm has reached its limit, it is being forcibly upgraded. This was a situation that Lin Fan had yet to come across. To think that he would bypass the experience points threshold due to the Fire-Water Emperor, and be pushed straight into the Paradise state. This was something that Lin Fan had never ever considered before. How amazingly f***cked up was this? At this moment, before Lin Fan could even take a look at that newly created paradise of his, he felt a strong suction force pulling him out of his inner world. Opening his eyes, Lin Fan realized that he had shot out everything without even realizing when. At the same time, the fire-water chick had already reached her climax as well, as she laid on his chest with her long hair resting everywhere. The Fire-Water Emperor was prostrated limply on his own body. That snow-white silky skin of hers was flushed slightly red right now. By now, Lin Fan realized that he had regained control of his bodily motions. Immediately, his expression changed. Now that the effects of Bigra were already over, he shouldn't remain at the bottom position right now. If the fire-water chick were to strike at him, he would have nowhere to run at all. At this point, Lin Fan was thoroughly convinced that this chick right here was the Fire-Water Emperor. After all, at the moment where the twin core of true essence was intertwined, he couldn't be any more familiar with those sensations. However, just as Lin Fan was trying hard to think of his next course of action, he realized that the Fire-Water Emperor's eyes were fixated on his face right now. At this moment, Lin Fan felt fear. He was thoroughly f***cked this time around. If I die under a skirt, I can still flirt as a ghost. Flirt your mother. Yours truly didn't wish for this. Right now, Lin Fan was pinned right below the Fire-Water Emperor. It was hard to say that the Fire-Water Emperor would not hesitate to slap him into dust immediately should he make any sudden movements. Lin Fan gulped down his saliva while his heart thumped furtively. He was suddenly realizing how close he was to death's door at this moment. The single thought of the Fire-Water Emperor slapping him to death had his member going limp instantly. Instantly, the brows of the Fire-Water Emperor frowned. By the looks of it, Lin Fan was pretty sure she was going to kill him right now. Boo-hoo. Dear goes ma chastity why. An idea flashed into Lin Fan's mind. First, you cry. Second, you scream. Third, you go for the noose. Right now, he had to start crying. Also, the more sorrowful his cries were, the better. Based on his experience, female beings had a maternal nature to them, and would often flood with emotions. This was especially the case for a sweet young thing such as himself, who had pretty good looks as well. Who knew if the Fire-Water chick might take pity on him and spare his life? At the start, Lin Fan had some grudges about being forced on by the Fire-Water chick. However, now that his paradise was completed, he had decided to let it go. Fine then. He would take this as compensated dating then. Get hard. Now. The Fire-Water Emperor stared at Lin Fan coldly. Her tone was even frostier. Upon hearing the words of the Fire-Water Emperor, Lin Fan did not dare to hesitate as his member jerked upright once more. Thud. The Fire-Water Emperor stood up. That wonderful watering hole of hers, that petite frame of hers, everything was in an absolutely unobstructed view. However, how would Lin Fan dare to have any stray thoughts right now? At first, he did not know how powerful this person was. However, right now, Lin Fan could tell that the Fire-Water Emperor could easily kill him if she truly wanted to. I will not kill you. Your Majesty here has trodden over all the ancient times. But, I've yet to take in a spouse. Today, under this fateful meeting of affinity, we have gone through the rituals of man and wife. As such, from this day forth, you shall remain my exclusive property. If I were to find out that you've been fooling around outside in the world, mark my words, you shall be the first I will kill once I break out of my seal. The flushed red face of the Fire-Water Emperor was gradually diminishing into its perfect snow-white shade. When he had first heard the words, Lin Fan could not help but heave a sigh of relief. Everything was good as long as she did not kill him. After all, the world of violence is so scary. However, by the time he got to the words at the end, he felt something amiss. What? Wasn't she taking yours truly as her toy boy now? Furthermore, what was up with their status? Exclusive property? This was an utter humiliation to the dignity of yours truly. Intolerable. Definitely intolerable. What? Do you have any questions? The Fire-Water Emperor stood tall and superior as she looked down at Lin Fan. Lin Fan gathered up his strength. At the same time, he summoned his heaven and earth smelt and hid himself right within. Insolent. You're the second woman that I've fucked in my life. I'm not AF*CKBOY who is merciless and heartless after I'm done with a girl. From now on, you shall be number 2. You must also obey the 3 obediences and 4 virtues. As such, you shall follow me along with my life according to my rules. If you dare to be impudent, I shall teach you a lesson. For the sake of that fleeting dignity of his, Lin Fan was giving it his all right now. At the same time, Lin Fan was feeling pretty unconfident in his heart while he was saying all of that. After all, he knew that he was weaker than her in terms of strength. Ha ha ha. Hearing this, the Fire-Water Emperor burst out into laughter. Those long locks of hers floated gently in the skies. Beneath that unparalleled gorgeousness of her face stood an air of superiority as a ruler. Just wait for me to break through my seal. By then, you can come before me and say that once more. As for the you right now? You ain't qualified just yet. Just as Lin Fan was about to refute that, the body of the Fire-Water Emperor turned into small little water crystals and disappeared into the heaven and earth. Holy F***CK. That gave Daddy a scare. Lin Fan heaved his bum down onto the floor with a thud and patted his chest in relief. That B***TCH was way too overbearing. However, the most important thing in one's life was their dignity and pride. To think that the B***TCH wouldn't give him any face at all. She deserved to be whacked. Right then, a black hole appeared behind Lin Fan. Before he could even react, he was sucked in instantly. Challenge passed. Entering the tomb. Chapter 579 Chapter 579, Squeezed to Death in a Single Palm Translator, lam_editor, hitesh_degree, to think that I could enter this place just like that. Regarding the issue of him being tainted by the Fire-Water Emperor, Lin Fan had long tossed it to the back of his head. Not only had that B*TCH engaged in a destructive infiltration of his body, she had even trampled on his dignity. Intolerable. Absolutely intolerable. After he raised his power level, he would grab her out for a long talk about life and moral values. At this moment, Lin Fan's mental state delved into his paradise. Ever since he had created this place with the assistance of the Fire-Water Emperor, he hadn't gotten himself familiarized with it just yet. Upon entering his own paradise, Lin Fan was completely startled by everything before his eyes. Isn't this Saint Spirit Chi? Using his fingers, he grabbed out at a ball of mist that looked similar to Spirit Chi. However, the moment he grabbed it in his hands, he realized that this was Bigra Chi instead. Within the middle of the paradise, a flourishing ancient tree had taken root upright. Blossoming brilliantly, its luscious foliage was dazzling to behold. If only Chicky were here right now, he would definitely fall in love with this place. Lin Fan's mind could not help but wander to that Chicky he had left in the lower world, wondering how he was doing right now. The mythical parasol tree was the resting ground for the phoenix. Now that it had received the nourishment of the core of the twin true essence from the Fire-Water Emperor, it had matured. At the top of the mythical parasol tree was a black hole. Dense Saint Spirit Chi converted into a gigantic dragon and was being sucked in continuously by the mythical parasol tree, before being cultivated into Shenyang pills. As of now, the rate of absorption of the Saint Spirit Chi by the mythical parasol tree, as well as its conversion into Shenyang pills, is thousands of times faster than before. From now on, I shall have access to this endless supply of Shenyang pills to use. This is simply awesome. Lin Fan was exhilarated right now. Based on this current speed of cultivation, he would be able to possess 10 million Shenyang pills in just a month's time. Unbelievable. This was akin to having 10 powerful beings of divine celestial level 5, undying state taking in Saint Spirit Chi day and night continuously. Suddenly, Lin Fan realized that his entire paradise was bright and sunny, with a scorching sun hanging at the top of it. On the other hand, there was a long flowing river that was gushing on the ground. Within those fiery flames and the running river were traces of the core of the Fire-Water Emperor's true essence. However, after the cultivation of the system, it was as though they had severed all ties with the Fire-Water Emperor. From this day forth, they shall be Lin Fan's personal possessions. Far in the distance, a city sat still. This was the Demon City. Above it, the big ancient demon was taking in the twin true essence for his cultivation. Master, Long Zan and Ziguang walked over together briskly, hand in hand. And what's this all about? Lin Fan asked. Master, this is a lovely place. From now on, I'll have a good place to reside with Ziguang. The twin cores of the Fire-Water Emperor's true essence would assist us in our cultivation. At the same time, the Shenyang pills produced by this mystical tree here would be enough for us to cultivate alongside that piece of rock there, Long Zan replied. Lin Fan had not expected a paradise as such to be created by himself. This place looked exactly just like heaven on earth. However, Lin Fan knew that despite its seemingly peaceful outlook, things would get extremely tragic if any enemies were to break in here. However, this was only the infantile state of the paradise for now. It still had ways to go before reaching the full cultivation state. At this moment, there were some disturbances coming from the outside. Hence, Lin Fan exited his paradise. Right now, they were at the tomb of the Fire-Water Emperor. Piece by piece, gigantic shards of gravel floated in the air. Below them was a pitch-black abyss of hell. Even with Lin Fan's current strength, he couldn't even make out the depth of this abyss. Up in the distance, a stream of light darted, currently being chased in pursuit. When Lin Fan made out the stream of light, he was elated while rushing up to help immediately. At this moment, Fairy Han Yun was trying her best to evade being hunted down. After she was sucked in by the black hole, she thought that she would be able to seek out the tomb of the Fire-Water Emperor really quickly. To think that she would be discovered by the ancient race the moment she entered the place. The two ancient race beings were of divine celestial level 2, realm state. The both of them were of the tribunus rank, under the direct command of Sovereign King Wei. Even though Fairy Hong Yun possessed a pretty decent strength, allowing her to fight beyond her current capabilities, she didn't stand a chance against the both of them. The only reason why she had survived till now was due to the fact that she was someone of the cloud race. Because of that, her body naturally possessed an innate talent for being elusive and speedy. Otherwise, she would have been long dead by now. Where have the elders gone? Where are my senior brothers and sisters? Fairy Hong Yun was starting to get nervous now. If this were to carry on, she would eventually exhaust all of her strength. By then, the only ending awaiting her would be death at the hands of these two. What's this? Suddenly, an enormous arm tore through the void. This arm had glistening nails while an aura swiveled within them, as though they formed a world of their own. It's a powerful being of paradise state. The blood drained out of Fairy Hong Yun's face. There was no way she could resist this. An enemy of this level wasn't something she could deal with at all. However, right at the moment when Fairy Hong Yun thought that she was about to be turned into powder dust, she realized that the arm was ignoring her entirely and heading straight for the two ancient race beings. Bam, bam. This unparalleled might exploded out into the world. As though a tornado was swiveling within the palms of this arm, it squeezed the two ancient race beings to death instantly. Loot, as though they were thoroughly analyzing the bodies, all 5 fingers worked hard at pulling out the paradise shards within the bodies of the two ancient race beings. Tossing them within the paradise as a form of nutrient for the mythical parasol tree, tens of millions of Shenyang pills were formed immediately. Ding! Congratulations on killing Divine Celestial Level 2, Realm State Ancient Race Being. Ding! Experience points plus 30,000, such formidable strength. Who in the world could this be? Fairy Hong Yun turned her head around only to witness these two powerful ancient race beings being slaughtered helplessly just like that. Not just that, even their paradise shards were drawn out of their bodies. Such methods were earth-shattering and absolutely rattled one's mind. Fairy Hong Yun, why are you alone? Lin Fan came before Fairy Hong Yun, asking. The moment Fairy Hong Yun heard this voice, her heart leapt with joy. Lin Fan. How did you find me? I only just entered this place when I caught sight of you being chased down by those two ancient race beings. Hence, I came over to assist you immediately. Lin Fan replied. Looking at Lin Fan, Fairy Hong Yun's eyes sparkled with astonishment. She had suddenly realized that the aura of this man before her was different once again. You've broken through? She asked him, stunned. Yup. I got lucky and encountered some things. With that, my paradise was crafted out. Of course, Lin Fan could not tell her the exact circumstances in which he was forced into submission by the Fire-Water Emperor. Lin Fan was prepared to store facts as such right into his guts for all eternity without telling anyone else. After all, this was a matter of his chauvinistic ideals. If anyone else were to catch wind of this, how would he continue to keep up with his image in the ancient saint world? Looking at how Lin Fan admitted to her question, Fairy Hong Yun had a feeling of defeat in her heart. The time taken for them to raise their power levels was extremely slow. Even if it were the geniuses within the sect, they wouldn't be able to be as sick as this guy here. We mustn't overstay at this location lest we fall behind. We've got to seek out the tomb of the Fire-Water Emperor. Lin Fan wanted a piece of the pie as well. Even though he had already received plentiful rewards upon his entry into the Fire-Water secret grounds, if there were more treasures awaiting, why shouldn't he try his luck? Who knew if his luck might just be that good for him to get out of this place with a perfect royal flush? He would truly have struck gold by then. I have already sensed the location of the elders and the others. However, the clashes over there are really intense. I'm afraid that we might be more of a hindrance than a help even if we were to head there. Fairy Hong Yun explained. Initially, she had wanted to scout around the fringes for some small encounters here and there. As for the real tomb, she dared not to head within. With her current strength, if she were to head over, the only thing that would await her was death. There was simply no chance for her. It's all right. Trust me. With me around, everything will definitely be fine. If he were still a divine celestial level 2, realm state being, Lin Fan might have considered for a little while. It'd be better for him to play on the safe side. However, with the materialization of his paradise, his power level had spiked up yet again. In fact, he might even be able to give a level 4, undying state being a run for their money. Furthermore, the speed at which his mythical parasol tree was collecting the Saint Spirit Chi around was unusually fast. With a massive supply of Shengyang pills in his hands, Lin Fan was confident that he had the capabilities and resources to engage in a big bout with everyone. Chapter 580 Chapter 580, Gathering of the Bad Guys. Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_. Eventually, Fairy Hong Yun did not object to it. However, she knew that safety would have to come first no matter what. As for Lin Fan, everyone other than people from the Cloud sect were just experience points. This was a rare opportunity of a lifetime not to be missed. Show. Pulling Fairy Hong Yun with him, he disappeared from where he was instantly. Fairy Hong Yun's preceptory senses were really accurate. There shouldn't be any mistakes. Upon getting closer to the destination, Lin Fan could sense some disturbances in the voids around him as well. Several sources of boundless powers were rippling through the void. He could sense a deep feeling of repression pushing towards him. Just as they both came to a stop, a rainbow cloud suddenly rose far from the distance. Those several sources of powers were cruising through the cloud. A gigantic giant was wearing a rainbow-colored armor. Using his enormous arms to rip the rainbow cloud apart, his knife-like hand slammed down on an armor plating. A loud sound rang out through the void, so piercing that one could almost feel their eardrums rupturing. Watch out. That is a move that requires one to expend all of their essence blood. If anyone could force our elders to that state, they must be definitely far from ordinary. Fairy Hong Yun exclaimed in worry. Let's check it out for a little bit first to determine the exact situation. For the sake of safety, Lin Fan and Hong Yun did not fly across the skies, choosing to tread on the ground instead. Right now, the scene was in a state of chaos, with fights breaking out amongst a few groups of people. Further down from where the fights were taking place was an altar with a coffin lying on it. These 4 groups of people were fighting over this coffin. One of the groups belonged to the elders of the Cloud sect. And by the looks of things, it didn't look all too good for them. Another group consisted of 4 ancient race beings. The 4 of them were really strong, with a thick aura emanating from them. Even though they were filled with wounds on their bodies, they only seemed to be fighting ever fiercer as time went by. As for the remaining 2 groups of people, it seemed as though they were lying in wait for something. Hey, old man Yun he. How about you follow my suggestion of combining forces to take down the 4 ancient race beings first? We'll split the fortunes of the Fire-Water Emperor evenly then, how about that? Within the void, a man remarked. This man was draped in black, with a ghastly tinge to his skin tone. He was scrawny, with his eye sockets sunken in. From top to toe, he gave off a chilly aura, as though he wasn't even a living being at all. Old demon Kui Sheng, you've got to be dreaming if you think that the Cloud sect would work with people of the evil path such as yourself. The man who spoke these words was an elder of the Cloud sect. His long white hair stood upright like sharp swords as his entire body was guarded by a firm aura, causing his robes to float up from time to time. Behind him were 2 other elders with an enraged look on their faces as well. At the same time, there was yet another elder whose arms were both surrounded by a black mist. The black mist was corroding into him, causing him to lose his fighting strength. Then, we've got a problem over here, old demon Kui Sheng sneered, revealing 2 rows of sharp-edged teeth. Since the Cloud sect refuses to acknowledge the bigger issue we have on hand, let's have them die in battle then. What has this got to do with us? A woman beside old demon Kui Sheng chuckled. Her fingers were extremely sharp, and she had furry ears. Her cat eyes were slit and jade green. The moment she opened her mouth, the atmosphere became extremely chilling. The portions of her body which were revealed were exceptionally ravishing. At first glance, one might mistake her as a humble daughter of a distinguished family. But one should not be mistaken, as her aura was unusually frightening. At this moment, there was yet another group of people waiting in the void. Even though they were not speaking, they were keeping their watchful gazes on the situation, as though they were just waiting for the last moment to strike. Life-stealing scholar, Brother Luo, and Brother Mutien, what's up with the three of you? Are you guys just watching there, or are you going to sit this out? Kui Sheng chuckled at these three. However, his eyes were filled with cautiousness towards them. Since the Cloud Sect wishes to fight the ancient race to their death, we shall fulfill their wish, of course. At the end of it all, we'll split the Fire-Water Emperor's treasure evenly, Mutien replied. This Mutien was none other than the person of the ghost race who was walloped so hard back in the infinite slaughter ancient realm that his parents might not even have been able to recognize his face afterward. However, he did gain a strain of the infinite slaughter ancient realm's spirit vein after all. In this short period of time, he had also managed to refine it and retrieve the power from within, making use of it to boost himself up to a divine celestial cultivation state. Thanks to the spirit vein, he skipped up instantly to a divine celestial level 2 realm state. With that, he managed to cultivate something that everyone from the ghost race had always looked forward to, 18 levels of hell. With just these 18 levels of hell alone, Mutien was undefeatable by anyone of the same state. In fact, he could even kill beings of the paradise state. Alright. That's our intentions as well. Kui Sheng naturally did not believe in those words of bullsh*t. He turned around to the ancient race, you guys can carry on. Don't worry. We'll definitely not interfere. Damn you *ts of the thousands of races. Even if you guys manage to obtain the treasure of the Fire-Water Emperor, you'll never get out of this place alive. The four ancient race beings huffed heavily. They had not expected things to end up as such. All of the ancient race beings who had entered had been killed by everyone else. They were the only four left alive right now. And, just when they were busy fighting it out with these elders of the Cloud Sect, these two groups of people appeared out of nowhere. One of the elders of the Cloud Sect was caught in a sneak attack by Mutien, causing his arms to be wrapped in a death aura. This death aura was extremely cumbersome to deal with. Even though he was at the paradise state, he couldn't remove it immediately at this moment. The elders, they're in danger. Looking at the situation up ahead, Fairy Han Yun commented in anxiousness. As for Lin Fan, some thoughts were running through his head right now. The strongest amongst them was a divine celestial level 4, undying state being. The weakest was Mutien, divine celestial level 2, realm state. However, compared to before, this guy's strength was significantly different. In fact, each of his eyes was of different colors, black and white, while emanating a ghostly aura. Just as Lin Fan was ready to rush forth and settle everything, Fairy Han Yun dashed up suddenly. Elders. I'm here to assist you guys. Looking at how her elders were being pushed back by the ancient race beings, Fairy Han Yun's heart was fretting. Even though it was a 3 against 4, one of the elders had his arms incapacitated from battle due to Mutien's sneak attack, and had lost all his fighting strength. Han Yun. The moment Elder Yun he caught sight of the incoming figure, his face changed entirely. Slamming out at an ancient race being who was closing in on him with a single palm strike, he dashed over to her side. Why are you here? Yun he had not expected Han Yun to come by. Elder, I've come to assist you guys. Han Yun replied without fear. Highs, Elder Yun he gave off a long sigh. She was practically here to send herself to death. Even if they were to kill off the four ancient race beings, they still had to contend with the people from the evil path. Besides, those of the evil path had really sinister and vile methods. Compared to the ancient race, they were far scarier. When Fairy Han Yun caught sight of the surrounding masses, all the blood drained from her face. She knew who these people were. Each and every one of them was a callous and sadistic bad guy. This was especially the case for that life-stealing scholar and old demon Kui Sheng. They were extremely infamous. In fact, even the infinite bat old master was only a candle compared to them. To think a little doll of divine celestial level 1, true state would dare to come into the fray without any concerns for her life and death. Since you've come to give your life away, I guess my 18 levels of hell could use yet another ghost puppet then. Mutien looked at Han Yun sinisterly. Along his way here, he had already slain quite a number of disciples from the Cloud Sect as well as some ancient race beings. All of them were cultivated into his ghost puppets to bolster the strength of his 18 levels of hell. This time around, Mutien had already intended to kill everyone here to turn them into his ghost puppets. With that, he would be able to unlock the third level of the 18 levels of hell, the door of the ghost race. From there, he could summon out the infinite evil ghosts within the abyss of the ghost race.